It is Saturday, May 23rd, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, the now returning co-host of Whatever We Want podcast, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week, baby?
Sports week was good. Nice bounce back by the Battlehawks. They clinched the conference
Caw.
championship in the UFL. We've got other conference championships to talk about, which we'll move on. Well, not conference championship, but you know what I'm talking about. We'll discuss it.
Side note, real quick, because I keep doing the cacaw bit. I'm hearing things because I'm not. Here's the truth, folks. I'm not down in the trenches. I'm not down there.
You're
I'm in
not one
St.
of the
Louis,
34,000.
but I'm not one of the 34,000 strong. Going to the Battlehawks games, rocking the
No way.
tailgates, all of that stuff. I am hearing that a cacaw is actually a derogatory move toward a true Battlehawks fan. Either
Really?
it's been taken away from us,
Well, caw is
and
law and cacaw is, well, maybe just the actual sound effect is the thing, is what you're saying?
cause law is a phrase that's still on shirts and stuff, but like a cacaw,
Yeah. The
cacaw. I believe maybe that's been maybe either it was never ours or it's been taken from us, and the people who know right now are the ones on the trenches, and we
Gotcha.
haven't
About to
really
say,
learned
you're
yet.
closer to the trenches than I am just physically.
Yeah.
Uh,
So just an update on the cacaw.
the
It
Battlehawks
may
fans that I talk to regularly are converts because they know me. Uh,
it may be getting used in a sarcastic manner, and that's not the manner that this show is using it in, because we are a St. Louis representing show, as well as an Orlando representing show, a Florida representing show, and so cacaw is the law. Caw is the law. As far as my baseball week, Omari, baseball is going crazy. Or as far as my sports week, baseball is just like the Cardinals are bad and then they're good, but then they're mostly bad, and then they're good,
oh,
but then they're mostly bad. And then my favorite pitcher in the league right now might be a Chicago Cub. So like the world is upside down, and I don't know how to talk about it yet. So we're going to put a pause on that.
not
And
a cub.
But as I keep saying, baseball's a long season. So we're going to go into topic number one of our three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports. We cover three topics, three easy topics. We pump them out to you real quick, as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk, to sprinkle a little information into that sports conversation. Topic number one, we are nearing the end of our playoff season here with the NBA and the NHL. We want to give you a quick little update on the four different conference championship series that are going on here. Two
Okay,
in
it
the
is conference
NBA.
championships.
Sorry.
I said, okay, it is conference championships. I thought I misspoke earlier. But yeah,
Yeah. On let's see, let's start on the NBA.
NBA
Uh
side.
yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
All right, so far, at least at the time of this recording, we got the Dallas Mavericks 1-0 above the Timberwolves in the Western Conference. We got a new face. Either way, we got a new face in the finals, at least compared to last year, because we got like I said, Luka Doncic and the boys had a nail biter against the Timberwolves. I'm pretty sure the other night. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got the Indiana Pacers. With the hopes of the nation riding on them if they go up against the big bad, as they go against the Boston Celtics,
The
who
hopes of the
lead that
nation.
series. Who lead that
Haven't won
series.
since their big three.
17. 17.
You don't say that when the Lakers are in.
They're like 16. And also, I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm a LeBron fan. And he's only got 4, as I am constantly reminded and will remind other people of.
Alrighty. Well, go Boston. Um, On the NHL side of things, Omar, we got the Dallas Stars facing the Edmonton Oilers, and we got the Florida Panthers facing the New York Rangers. This is the one where, although we know very little about the NHL, we kind of nailed this one on the head. You said you wanted the Stars and the Panthers because of your Florida ties and your high school mascot allegiance. And I wanted a Canada team and the New York Rangers to potentially get as far as they can. We got it all laying out in front of us, and we're just waiting for the Stanley Cup.
I hope it's one of each. Like one of yours and one of mine, I think would
That'd
be.
be that'd be great. That'd be
I'm
great.
already happy because the Fighting Cronkies are out of both conference finals. We just need them Boston teams gone and maximum enjoyment.
We'll see if that Boston team can get out of there or not. I'm not sure. But
I
we'll update
mean,
you again next week because these playoffs are still going on, and hopefully we'll get to some deciding decisions and be in the final brackets of these things. Can start talking about who our champion of champions is going to be. Moving on to seed number 2, as has become tradition here, we like to talk about our wrestling pay-per-views coming up. And it's a double packed weekend this weekend, Omari. We've got 2 different pay-per-views coming. We're going to talk about the one farthest away first. AEW Double or Nothing. 5 years of AEW. And this show is culminating with a big one. Anarchy in the Arena. Team AEW, which will be FTR, Bryan Danielson, and that nut job, Darby Allin, versus the Elite, which is the Young Bucks, Kazuchika Okada, and Jack Perry. I believe we've officially removed Jungle Boy from it. Um, what do you
I
got in
think you
this
should.
one? What are your thoughts here?
I think he should have dropped the boy, but just been like Jungle Jack, Jungle Jack Perry
Yeah, I don't love the scapegoat as like a like
as a
it's a
gimmick.
it was a fun moniker when he left and went to Japan, I think, as like a one time having scapegoat on like the armband or whatever as like a
Yeah,
little secret signal.
I think his whole scapegoat thing now, though, is because of the whole reigniting 1 year later of the topic
Yeah.
after everybody shut up. Like they should have done this a year ago. That's my whole opinion on the elite EVPs and Jack Perry scapegoat. Do that the second Punk leaves, or like a month after Punk leaves, and do that as your whole "fuck you, Punk. We do what we want" type shit that y'all trying to do. And the
Or
people
do
who,
this with Punk and make all the fucking money.
well, yes, but he left, so
And it's not and that's
or
not
he
just
didn't leave.
because
He
it's
got fired.
and that's
They
not
shouldn't
just
have
because
fired
it's
him because I
Punk.
agree with you.
Yeah, and that's not
Yeah,
just because he's Punk and he is a draw, but just because some of the greatest things that have ever happened in wrestling are the things that we as the audience think are real in the moment or are blurring those lines between
exactly. When they
reality.
sprinkle some real stuff into the wrestling
Yeah.
storylines,
CM
Brett and
Punk said it
Sean did
himself
not
in
like
a
each other.
CM Punk said it himself in an interview of like, yeah, there have been a lot of people that I didn't like, but usually you end up making the most money with the people that you don't get along with
Yeah,
because it's real. It's
yeah. Like I said, Sean and Brett did not like each other.
mhm.
They were not fans of one another, but the crowd loved that shit because the wrestlers' characters also didn't like each other, and they played into that shit. And then they dropped little real life shit into the things, like, oh, blah blah. Well, he could have just been handing it up. How do you know? Either way, Anarchy in the Arena has always been a silly match. So I think that'll be fun to watch again.
Yeah,
I think
it's gonna be
last
wild.
year's I think last year's Anarchy in the Arena had Moxley in it, and the motherfuckers played through his whole theme like twice while the fight was going on. So just fighting, and someone jumps off a fucking balcony. Like, will you guys stop the song? The match is no, it's just gonna keep playing. Okay.
Yeah, I think the things this is going to be a crazy amazing match. I mean, this is what
Fucking
AEW does.
Darby's involved, so oh my
This is
god,
what AEW does. They put on amazing pay-per-views filled with great matches.
that they do.
That's what's going to happen here. I think the specific things I'm watching out for are Bryan Danielson being in this kind of match at, and we don't, there are so many levels of him working hurt or not, and what's a work, what's a shoot, what's real.
Well, he did get hit by a bus.
Well, yeah, that's Darby. I'm talking about Bryan
Oh,
Danielson.
okay.
That's before I even get to Bryan Danielson. I'm talking, or Darby Allin. I'm talking about Bryan Danielson and
Oh, okay, yeah.
his neck, his spine, his
Yeah, it's
shoulder,
real
his
hard to tell when he's
uh
selling and when he's actually hurt
yeah.
because
So I'm
he's really
interested
good
in
at his
that.
job.
And then, like you said, yeah, Darby Allin, who currently actively has a broken foot, took off the boot in order to go in front of camera when he reappeared to join Team AEW. Also wearing a nose guard because he got hit by a freaking bus while he was really rehabilitating his broken foot. Um, uh, I'm interested to see that. And then
That
on the other
guy.
side of things, on the elite side of things, Kazuchika Okada being in an Anarchy in the Arena match. I don't think enough people are talking about that. Like, I
Yeah,
know
I'm gonna
Japan
need.
goes strong, but there's not
Uh,
nearly as much outside of the ring playing with the furniture, as it's like to be called, that we do over here in America. I can't picture a moment that's really beyond like a steel chair kind of thing with involving Okada. Maybe a table.
I don't know enough about Okada, but dude's been doing for like ages. So who knows? The Rainmaker.
Rainmaker. So who you got?
Um, I think the. I don't know
Specifically,
if the
who is
elite
pinning who to get the win?
is it a one pin thing? If it's a one pin thing, I'm gonna say that I can see them trying to piss off the fans. So I think someone on Team AEW is losing. And you know what? I'm gonna go for maximum piss the fans off. I think the AEW crowd would be very mad if Bryan Danielson got pinned by Jack Perry.
Yeah. Maybe even not even by something Jack Perry does. Like
Exactly.
Okada does a Rainmaker and then Jack Perry pins Danielson.
Mhm. Maximum booze. He's the scapegoat. It works.
Yep. I like that. I like that. Let's move on to the next one because we got a bunch here to talk about. Uh ah, I love Swerve Strickland, but and I don't, and I like Christian. Am I weird in saying that this feels like a randomly thrown together filler match? AEW World Championship on the line. Swerve Strickland, your champion, versus the the
The
the
patriarch.
the patriarch. Thank you, Christian Cage.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I feels a little only a little thrown together. I mean, Christian is probably one of the bigger heels they got going right now. And it sounds like from the stuff I've seen, they've kind of gone a bit more toward face with Strickland.
Yeah, they're trying. He's the
So
head of your company. They're trying to do him
yeah.
as a face,
So because
a
of that, I can
tweener
see that.
face.
I can see them doing what they're doing with this. That said, I don't see Christian winning. I feel like if Christian was to have that championship, they would have given it to him with the Edge thing when they had the maximum, everybody looking at Edge versus Christian,
Right.
and Edge won that feud. So I don't think they don't really need to keep Christian strong. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah, that's kind of my only weird thing that my brain, and AEW do this sometimes, and it's kind of a weird thing because you're painting yourself into a corner with the sports focused presentation aspect of it and making a very big deal at the new year, a little bit after the new year, maybe February, big deal about bringing back the ranking system and wins and losses matter. And then what happens? Mercedes Monet comes back and doesn't have a single match, walks in on her very first promo and says, "My first match is going to be in 2 months, and it's whoever's the TBS champion." And then what happens with Christian
But she's
Cage?
got money. She can do that.
Christian Cage has 3 months of losing to Adam Copeland and others in TV matches, and then gets a world title shot. It just it bumps up in my brain sometimes. Um,
Yeah, I'd have less of a problem if they didn't make as big an emphasis on this is how we do things with the ranking system. You can have the
they kind
rankings
of they kind of
and you can
haven't
have
talked
people
about it since Mercedes joined.
okay, I'm about to say you can have the rankings and you can have people skirt the rankings because Mercedes you can logic
These
it
me
you
one
can
title shot territory for you.
well that and Monet I was even going with Monet the money part because she's all I got money now money 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 so you can the idea of I just bought my way into the company and got a thing give me this thing if you want me give me money and a title shot okay that makes sense because she's the big free agent signing deal the game changing deal yeah you give that person a title shot if they want it on the way in Christian, like you mentioned, and but credible heel in terms of
It's going to be a great match.
danger, and he outworks everyone according to his Titantron thing. So you know, give him a shot. I think Strickland keeps it though.
All right, let's go on to the other side of the gender spectrum here. AEW Women's World Champion Toni Storm is going to be defending against Serena D. Um, Toni Storm,
Tony
Toni
Storm,
Storm, and forward. I don't
Tony
know what
Storm,
we're doing here. I love the timeless gimmick, but I don't know what we're doing here. Um,
fair.
she just has these know nothing. I mean, I get that we're building a story with Mariah May that's long term, but it's
In the
just
meantime,
the in the meantime is just kind of it's making her act look old because it's just the same recycle on every pay-per-view cycle. It's just the
I thought
new
it'd
one.
be the black and white. Uh-huh.
um so yeah, I mean, yeah, is there anything else there? I mean, Tony
Nah,
Storm's gonna
Tony
obviously win
Storm.
this. All right. AEW TBS Championship. You got your TBS champion, Willow Nightingale, facing Mercedes Moné in her very first match in AEW.
Everything in me wants to say they try and do something where Mercedes gets upset and she has to, build her way back up to do the thing. But I could also just see them have you brought her in for a reason. Let's be honest. You want her to be one of the faces, if not the face of your women's division. You paid her all that money. You've gone in so hard. You renamed the TV show just to sign her. Well, obviously not just to sign her, but the episode she did was like big business thing episode, money
Yeah,
focus.
you
Wonder who
basically
this
did a
is.
pay-per-view on TV
Yeah, and
for her signing announcement.
I feel like you kind of have to give her the title but I can see them depending on how people feel about Willow. I can see them maybe trying to make a story out of it, but
Yeah.
I think Mercedes wins this because
Yeah, I feel like Mercedes is gonna win it. I still am not convinced if they have decided that she's going to go run it heel, because I think those first few promos they were trying to run a babyface angle, and Willow is getting more support in the stadium. We all know, it's kind of a Rock Cody light scenario where it's we all know where the no pun intended where the money is,
Yeah.
but the
Also,
crowd seems to be behind somebody else right now.
also, how common is "Look at me, how rich I am," the baby face?
Right. Well, and I think the other layer to this, which is, and I don't, I don't want to be harsh and put too much pressure on it, but I feel like they put a lot of pressure on it themselves. Like the way they have built Monet, the way she has built herself in her transition from companies to companies, um, the way she did her first couple of promos, like this has got to be one of the greatest women's matches of all time, kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
this is
with the
the
hype that they gave it to it.
yeah, like she's got to really show her in-ring
Yeah, it is crazy that it's her
ability that
first
she
match.
was
That
like even just to the fans,
yeah,
like to the fans that are kind of reject the AEW loyalists seem to be rejecting her in this moment. Um yeah, if you're not catching that vibe, it's
I
I mean, there's a lot of like from the jump, there has been a lot of responses of just like, oh, that's so WWE feeling.
oh
Like her promos just feel like WWE. Oh,
okay,
this
yeah,
storyline they're building with like the contract signing in the ring, a lot of people responding of just like yeah, it's just it's like she's bringing WWE to AEW, and I don't like that. And then on top of her not wrestling, like she's not doing any
the not
favors
wrestling
by
thing
not
was
wrestling for almost 3 months. Um,
well, I think she's gonna prove everybody wrong. Come out there, wrestle fantastically, and win that title.
um, AEW International Championship match: Roderick Strong, the champion, versus Will Ospreay. I mean, this is almost on Tony Storm level, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, spray! Oh, spray!
they are building Will Ospreay to be Captain England,
Yeah.
or whatever. I know there's a real life guy in the Marvel comics that's the
Captain Britain,
Captain Britain. Okay, yeah. I knew Captain England didn't sound right.
Psylocke's
Um,
brother.
but yeah, I mean, he's going to be unstoppable until he wins the championship, right? Like
That's what I feel like is
that's
gonna
what
happen here.
we're looking at.
Yeah. Osprey,
Uh
bruv.
a really cool match that I am really excited. I might be the most I'm excited to check out on this card. AEW TNT Championship barbed wire steel cage match for Malachi Black and the TNT champion Adam Copeland, formerly Edge in WWE. Uh, Omari, question one.
All right.
Do you subscribe to Adam Copeland slash Edge not losing since his return is a problem? Because that's a growing
Oh, he hasn't lost any
vocalization
matches.
other than to Roman. He has lost one match to Roman. He beat Finn Balor 3 times in the dissolution of the Judgment Day, including against the Demon at WrestleMania.
And then he hasn't lost at all in AEW.
Correct. Other than the botch match where he beat Christian the first time for the TNT championship, Luchasaurus showed up with their version of the Money in the Bank briefcase,
Uh,
squashed Copeland in 3 seconds, and then gave the championship back to Christian. That's technically it was technically a pinfall loss, but
I don't know.
high shenanigans.
I don't know
He's
if
not
it's
put
a
anybody
problem.
over in wrestling parlance.
Yeah. Well, because of the nature of his opponents, at least thus far, it's not as bad. I mean, yeah, you can argue he could have put Finn over, especially since Finn took the Judgment Day from him. You could have given him that at least, especially since you were leaving. But Finn is also pretty established as Finn what he is. Losing's not going to change your opinion of Finn. I'll put it that way. And a win over the coming back from retirement Edge, not so much gonna shift that needle too much anyway. Because that was during the Roman era where who cares? It's not gonna be for the title. You're just some mid card shit. Who cares? But I'm not saying anything against a match. I'm just talking about for this particular point.
Right.
AEW again, Christian. Oh no, he beats Christian. Did you think Christian was above Edge? No. Did everyone say the second Edge came here? Well, Christian, you're fucked. Yes. So that now, if he beats Malachi, we can start talking. Because the House of Black, I feel like that though Julia Hart kept winning a lot, the House didn't win that often, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and she didn't hold that belt for very long.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't. I don't believe it was beyond a calendar year or anything. Um, yeah, I feel like House of Black needs this, and I do feel like Copeland needs to start.
Yeah.
I
This would
do.
be a good time to start losing. If he
I,
starts,
I'm
if
someone
this
I'm
keeps
someone who
going,
can watch in hindsight. Only in hindsight, unfortunately, with the WWE side of things. But I've gone back and I'm watching some of the stories, and although I am watching it with the tint
yeah.
of the fact that I've already heard people talking about how he should have put Finn Balor over. It does feel like that when as a wrestling
I can
fan,
see
you're
the
watching
argument.
watching the culmination and the math equation building. Edge winning there at the end was rough.
Yeah.
But I think Adam Copeland needs this for his future of AEW. I just it's going to get a little old.
Yeah.
Just having these cope opens, which I don't even know if I like that name, um, and and uh, and where it's just a foregone conclusion that you know who's going to win, but it's going to be a fun, entertaining match because Adam Copeland's going to try something he hasn't tried in like 30 years, and that's going to be fun about it. But other than that, it's just going to be very stagnant. And I feel like we have to not only start shifting him as a bad guy, but we also have to start shifting him out of the singles division because there's only one thing left for Adam Copeland to do, and that's tag with Christian Cage.
Well, that whole that was his goal when he first showed up, and Christian responded by telling him to go fuck himself.
Well, yeah, and then they had their singles
Yeah.
run. So and they were also a baby face and a bad guy at that point. We need
Yeah.
I think
One of them needs. Oh, you're saying if Edge switch or Copeland
we need one
switches
of them to switch
to
sides.
yeah, if Edge switches sides, then yeah, they could tag again.
And the key stipulation for this match we're I don't know if we'll do King and Queen of the Ring because we're taking a long time with AEW. But the key stipulation with this match is if Adam Copeland loses, he has to bend the knee to the House of Black. I want to see Adam Copeland bend the knee to the House of Black.
As do I. I did not know about that stipulation. Let's go Malachi. I've been a fan. I've been a fan of Malachi since he was Alistair.
Malachi is
So
awesome. Malachi is awesome. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. So it's not even for the championship and it's on this pay-per-view. That's a little weird. But John Moxley versus Takeshita. Um,
Moxley versus Japan continues.
Takeshita's got to win this, right? Because it's not even for the title, and it's probably not for the title because Moxley was told that Takeshita's going over.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about to say I don't know even who has the IGW whatever right now. IWGP
Moxley
title.
does.
Oh, he has the title, but it's not for the title. Okay, yeah, Takeshita.
Yeah, yeah. This has got to set up a
Takeshita's still with Callis, right?
yeah.
Don Callis and folks.
I believe the Callis stable is so fucking weird right now, man.
Okay.
It's so weird. Orange Cassidy might be in it now. Will Ospreay is still in the Callis family, even though he's very clearly a baby face. But yet
Yeah,
Don Callis still comes out for all of his matches. There's weird things going on in AEW.
fair enough. As someone who can't watch weekly just because cable
Right.
TV and stuff, it's crazy.
Yeah. Um, let's see. So many matches, and there's one more here that's not even on the card that I gotta tell you about. All right, next one. The For the World Championship match, which I love that Chris Jericho has stopped saying FTW and has declared it the For the World because then he can say it's for the World Championship. We're gonna have a match for the world championship. I
That's
hate Chris
hilarious.
Jericho, but you love to hate him. And he's so goddamn good at like using manipulating the crowd.
Yes.
Even though I still think that he should take a break and absence makes the heart grow fonder, Chris Jericho. He's in a triple threat match for the world championship against Hook and Shibata. Um, what do you think here?
Who's Shibata?
Shibata is in the learning tree
Ah,
right now,
okay.
or the Chris Jericho mid card vortex, depending on how you want to look at it.
Oh, that is an angry looking dude. Oh, sorry, I just had to look up a picture because I'm like, who is this guy? See if I remember him. Ah, he looks angry. I think Jericho keeping this learning tree thing going is just gonna find a way. It's a triple threat too. Hook Shibata take each other out. Jericho pins one of them, keeps his title. Crowd disappointed.
Yeah. Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy, the best friends fighting it out. I think Trent Beretta already has one victory or over Orange Cassidy in this blood feud. I gotta imagine Orange Cassidy's gonna get this one.
Yeah, I didn't think Trent would get one, given the level of each superstar. But yeah, I'll give it to Orange Cassidy as well.
And then finally, just added so recently that it wasn't even on the card that I put on our little note sheet here. For the trios title, it is the Bang Bang Gang versus the recently reunited Death Triangle of Pac,
Oh,
Ray Phoenix, and Penta. What do you think on that one, Omari?
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
know
go.
you like the Lucha Brothers
I like Death
and you
Triangle.
like
I like
Pac.
back. Yeah, I like Death Triangle as a stable.
Yeah.
So the idea of them being back, and which one's Bang Bang Gang? That's
That is
the kids, right? Billy
no,
Gunn's kids and
that's
Jay
not the
White.
Ass family.
Oh,
That is what's his face from that they just got from New Japan.
not Sling Blade.
It is oh my God, we're really showing our you had to do this to me. They were formerly known as Bullet Club Gold. Um, and
Oh,
what's his
it's Sling Blade, Juice Robinson, and somebody
yeah,
else.
what's his name now?
Jay White.
Jay White.
Yeah, Sling Blade, Jay White, Juice Robinson, and a third person.
Yep.
Um, ooh, I'm still saying Death Triangle. just because I want to root for Death Triangle. And I don't want to root for a person I chose would win just so I could be right. I want to root for Death Triangle. Yeah.
All right, that's the AEW card, folks. My goodness, this is a plus sized you don't watch sports where we only covered two topics. But we squeezed two topics into our first topic, so we kind of still
True. We
covered three
covered three
topics.
topics. We covered NBA, NHL, and AEW.
There you go. All right. Omari, you can watch the both of us on a thing that we do called you don't watch sports, which is the thing that you're watching right now, but also this guy hasn't seen, where we share movies back and forth that one guy's seen, one guy hasn't, and then we talk about them after we watch them. Really good fun time. It's kind of like a book club for TV, movies, media, visual media like that. We also have recently started a thing that's going to drop about every well, like twice a month or so, and it's called Mocked Draft, where we just have fun drafting something. It's got a lot of fun potential in it, and we have a good time doing it. So keep an eye out for Mocked Draft. What else you got on the horizon, Omari?
Well, you can also find me on YouTube under Whatever We Want podcast. Do it, a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
That's right, with nature intended. Thank you very much. We do those on Wednesdays. Go ahead and check that out. We talk about just that, whatever we want. I also have a Twitter and Twitch called Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've got to say. You got anything else you want to tell the folks, Phil?
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next week.